The Fool and His Fortune. In the rugged hills of Carmel lived a man named Nabal, wealthy, powerful, and proud. He owned 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, a symbol of affluence in his time. From afar, his estate glimmered with abundance, but within its walls lived arrogance. Nabal's name meant fool, and he lived up to it daily. He was harsh, ungrateful, and known for speaking without thought. But standing beside this difficult man was a woman so different that it puzzled everyone. Abigail. Abigail was wise, calm, discerning. Her beauty went beyond appearance. It was a quiet strength, a presence that carried peace even in chaos. And though she lived in a house ruled by a fool, she herself was guided by wisdom. Their home was one of contrast, foolishness and wisdom sharing the same table. But soon the difference between them would become a matter of life and death. The king without a crown. Far from Carmel, another story was unfolding. David, the young warrior who had slain Goliath, was still on the run from King Saul. Though God had anointed him as Israel's next king, his throne was yet to come. He lived in caves, hid in deserts, and led a band of 600 loyal men. In those wilderness days, David and his men often protected shepherds and travelers from raiders. Among those they guarded were Nabal's shepherds, men who tended his vast flocks in the wild. Not once were they harmed or stolen from. When sheep shearing season came, a time of feasting, generosity, and celebration, David sent 10 of his men to Nabal with a peaceful message. "Peace be to you, to your household, and to all that you have." It was a humble, respectful request. But what came back was not gratitude, it was mockery. Nabal scoffed. "Who is David? Who is this son of Jesse? Many servants are breaking away from their masters these days. Why should I give my food and meat to men coming from who knows where?" His words dripped with contempt. He insulted the very man who had protected him, the man anointed by God himself. When David's men returned with Nabal's answer, David's patience snapped. The shepherd boy who once played the harp now gripped his sword. "Each of you, strap on your sword," he ordered. 400 armed men rose with him. David was no longer thinking of mercy. He was thinking of revenge. By nightfall, David had made a vow. "May God punish me if I leave even one of Nabal's men alive by morning." A storm of wrath was coming to Nabal's house, and no one could stop it. No one except one woman. A woman who acted in wisdom. When one of the servants heard what Nabal had done, he ran straight to Abigail. "Our master has insulted David, yet David's men were good to us. They protected us day and night. Disaster is coming for our whole household." Abigail didn't panic. She didn't argue. She didn't waste a second blaming her husband. Instead, she moved with speed and wisdom. She gathered an offering fit for a king: 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 prepared sheep, roasted grain, raisins, and figs. She loaded them on donkeys and set out to meet David, without telling Nabal. Picture this scene: a lone woman riding through the wilderness at dusk, surrounded by supplies of peace, heading straight toward an armed and angry army. Her courage wasn't loud. It was quiet, steady, and divine. She knew that sometimes saving lives requires stepping out alone. When wisdom met anger. David rode furiously down the rocky path, muttering under his breath, "It was useless guarding that man's property. He has repaid me evil for good. Before sunrise, I'll destroy every male in his household." Then, across the path, he saw her, Abigail. She quickly dismounted, bowed low before him, and said words that would change the course of history. "My lord, let the blame fall on me. Please listen to your servant. Pay no attention to Nabal, that wicked man. As his name is, so he is, foolish. But I did not see the young men you sent." She spoke not to his pride, but to his purpose. "The Lord will surely make you king. Don't let this be a blemish on your record. When God fulfills his promise to you, you will not have this on your conscience." Her words pierced through David's anger. The sword in his hand no longer felt right. The fire in his eyes faded into humility. David looked at her and said, "Praise be to the Lord who sent you to meet me today. May you be blessed for your good judgment and for keeping me from bloodshed." In that moment, one woman's wisdom turned away an army's wrath. Abigail became the peace in the middle of chaos. The fool's end. Abigail returned home as the sun rose over Carmel. There was music, laughter, and wine flowing. Nabal was throwing a feast fit for a king, completely unaware that he had nearly destroyed everything. Abigail said nothing that night. She waited until morning, when the wine had left his system and his mind had cleared. Then she told him everything: how close death had come, how God had intervened. And when Nabal heard her words, his heart turned to stone. He froze in shock, and 10 days later, he was dead. David, upon hearing the news, lifted his eyes and said, "Praise be to the Lord who has upheld my cause and kept me from doing wrong." What David had been ready to destroy by force, God removed by justice. Vengeance was never his to take, and the woman who reminded him of that truth would soon become his wife. The bride of wisdom. When David sent for Abigail, she bowed humbly and said, "Here is your servant, ready to serve and wash the feet of my Lord's servants." She left behind her life of chaos and became the wife of the future king. From the house of a fool, she stepped into a destiny of honor. Abigail's story is not just about beauty or marriage. It's about wisdom under pressure. She teaches us that grace is stronger than anger, and wisdom louder than wrath. She reminds us that when others lose control, we can hold on to peace. Because sometimes, like Abigail, you are placed in the middle of conflict, not to take sides, but to bring peace. To be the calm voice that reminds others of who they really are. To stand between destruction and destiny. Abigail, the woman who stopped a king's rage. A story of courage, grace, and divine wisdom. And a reminder that peace is power.